Hi everyone, I'm Scott and welcome to another episode of The Unlikely Beak. So it's been a little while since we've been to the bee yard, so we have a couple of things we need to check on, and I also have a project that I'm gonna try to do today that will hopefully encourage the bees to draw some more comb out, especially on some of the frames where they have robbed the wax from to use wherever else they wanted to use it. So in any event, I'm gonna get suited up and get into the boxes, so I'll be right back. So as you can see, there's only 3 colonies here right now. The last time we were here, we decided that we were going to try to salvage our queenless hive by giving them some eggs from another colony to see if they would raise their own queen. But unfortunately, they just did not do it, and I had no choice but to shake those bees out. So if you're not familiar with that process, really all I did was exactly how it sounds. I carried the frames up here to the end of the grass to the road here and just simply shook them off the frames and onto the ground and eliminated the hive from its location. So when those forager bees flew back and didn't find their colony there, they moved to the one right next to it. What I'm gonna do here now is I'm gonna just check on this first colony, what I call my rock star colony over here. As you can see, they already have a super. I gave them the super again for just the same kind of reason. Give it to them, see what they, do anything with it. If they don't, it's not a big deal. So I'm just gonna check in there real quick just out of curiosity to see if they've started drawing comb out in there or whatever. And then I'm just gonna do kind of a cursory look through the other 2 colonies. Of course, I'm gonna be giving this one right here a second box. But the big project of what I've come here for today is to go through each box and find some of the frames where the bees have borrowed the wax. I usually heavily coat mine just because I know that the bees are eventually going to rob some of that wax to use in other places. And then when they've robbed it down to the plastic, they'll ignore it. So then you end up with a lot of frames that have spots or spaces on them, especially like towards the bottom or in the corners. You'll see where it's drawn out everywhere else, but that's just blank and they just keep ignoring it. And that's because the wax coating is gone and it's just plastic, so they're going to ignore it. As you can see, this box is almost as tall as I am, and it's only got 1 super on it. Now, it does have a quilt board on it here, which does add a little bit of height to it, but not a whole lot. So if this ever got to a point where we had like 2 or 3 supers on this box, I'm not sure if I would actually be able to handle it without a stepladder. So we've got about, I don't know if you can probably see here or not, so we've got about, I don't know, about 3 frames or so, maybe 4 frames of bees down in there. And this is of course the super that I'm giving them just to see what they'll do with it. You can see, have not drawn it out and not the least bit surprised at that either. So now I'm just looking at it really quickly, just to make sure Queen's not on it for some reason. I mean, she shouldn't be, but you never know. As I had mentioned in a previous video, I am the last person to be taking smoker lessons from because I cannot keep my smoker lit ever. So here you can see I've started to really draw the middle of this frame out very nicely, and they have got it packed with nectar. There we go. Can tell you folks, I know how some of my fellow YouTubing beaks do it, because I do not find it super easy or simple at all to film and talk while I'm getting into these hives. So it's just not something I'm great at. But when I decided I wanted to start this YouTube channel, I did so, you know, for obvious reasons. Been beekeeping for quite a while. I wanted to share my experience and my knowledge. Now so if I pull one of them out here, you can see here, see all this wax that's like kind of embedded in the cells? That's from me being very, very generous with my coating. So as you can see, they haven't robbed any of the wax off of that, so I don't really need to rub any of it on there. So again here, this is our outermost frame. This is the one we expect to see drawn out the least. Rubbing it on right now. I would probably shake the bees. If I was gonna do like a whole big section of this, I would probably shake the bees off, just because I don't want it to be, you know, like I'm causing a lot of vibration on the board here, and again, you know, you never know what how the bees are going to feel about that. There's wax on that corner, but now there's a bunch of wax there. So I think it was a really productive day here, although I didn't spend a whole lot of time here. It was a pleasant surprise that I didn't need to. Sometimes as beekeepers, we tend to feel like we need to be more hands-on than we really do. So it's a good thing to come to your bee yard and with some ideas in your mind of what you think that you're gonna need to do that day, and be surprised, pleasantly surprised that you didn't need to. Some more bees that will be coming here to the yard in a couple of weeks, so be sure to check back on a video for that. There'll be a couple of nukes coming. So in any event, very pleased with what we saw here today, very happy. And for those of you that may still be watching my bee videos, I just want to say, believe it or not, here comes the shocking statement for you guys. Believe it or not, I need to get out of this bee suit because I'm actually hot. And this is a ventilated bee suit, and I'm actually hot in this bee suit. So I need to get out of this bee suit because I'm hot, and I need to get in the car, and I'll actually really run the air conditioner for just a little bit, and then I'll probably put the windows down for the final drive home. And that's just for, you know, for those of you who know who you are. So, and what maybe a statement like that from me might mean. So again, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of The Unlikely Beak. I appreciate your patience as I work through figuring out this whole logistical juggle of camera and camera angles while talking and showing everyone what's going on inside the hives. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.